I think it's going. There we go. All right, so we're going to do National Bat Appreciation Day, which is obviously April 17th. Okay, which was yesterday. We missed it. Okay, so open up Animate. We got HTML5 canvas. Now I got to start figuring out how what the heck I'm going to do here. So I'm going to create a new folder like usual. And I'm going to call it Bat Day, because that's what it is. Now, of course, no one else should do Bat Day now, unless for some reason before class you're like, man, I'm doing mine on Bat Day, and you were ready for it, and then I stole it and you're mad at me. Sorry. Then, okay, I guess you could do Bat Day if you really wanted to. But just like I've said this before, I'm going to keep saying it, just make sure you get the concepts down, you know, like how to animate on the line, how to do masks, how to put in the sounds and all that kind of stuff, so you have everything that you need to be able to do these cards. So I'm going to just kind of start here and just kind of go through. Okay, so sounds. I'm probably going to have a bat flying through something, cave, I don't know. Let's see what's out there. I don't know if I want kind of a cartoony look. Now that'd be kind of cool inside of a cave, just have him flying around inside of there. Or I could use this, have him fly out. I'll use this one. This one looks okay. So this is going to be my background. I'll have him flying around in here. Now again, if you're graphic design major, you probably want to be drawing all this stuff. I get you don't have a lot of time to do this, a couple weeks, but you know, I'm only doing this for time's sake. But you're, you know, if you're trying to be a graphic designer, you're probably going to want to make sure you're drawing all your stuff. And that makes it that much more impressive. All right, so I'm going to put this little dot up here in the upper left corner so it will resize from there. Okay, come over here to timeline, and I'm going to lock this because it is my background and I don't want it moving. So BG. So now if I come over here and try to move stuff, it is not going anywhere. Okay, we'll save this out. I'll call it Bat Day. Save it in the Bat Day folder. So, yeah, question? I just copied and pasted. Yep, just, yeah, sorry, I didn't really say that. Right-clicked, copied the image, and then came over here and just pasted, and it came in. Now it's also in my library as bitmap. So I could double-click that, name it cave. Right now I'm going to look for some sound effects. I don't know. Well, I don't know. I'll just say cave ambient sound effect. I don't know. Oh, what the heck I'm going to run into here? Yeah, like water dripping in a cave. That could be kind of cool. Just something to kind of set up the scene here. Not bad. Sounds like a toilet. No, thank you. And that's the fun thing about this is you gotta find the stuff that's not. You don't want your sound effect overtaking the animation, right? You want to find something that's just that's it. It's background noise, and that it's supposed to be background noise. You don't want it too loud and annoying. Not too bad either. Ooh, I like this one. Booyah. Download MP3. Oh, no, you did not. Okay, really? They want me to log in? I don't want to log in. It's all licensed and stuff. Let's go free. I don't know if these guys are. Oh, there we go. Bats. Ooh, that's good. Because I'm probably going to need some bat sound effects too. No, they still want me. Screw that. Gone. All right. This is the annoying part, by the way. Trying to find stuff that they don't want you to log in for. But when you're looking for a sound effect, I'd recommend just kind of Google what you're looking for, then hop out to these different websites. I don't want to spend too long doing this. Let's see. Looks like this one may let me download SoundSnap. Taking forever to load though. It's a really dumb way to have a website. It shouldn't have all this stuff load. It should only load when you play it. Whatever. Okay, I don't want to spend 10 years, so let's hopefully this will let me.
Tomorrow's National High Five Day.
Tomorrow high five. Okay, I'm just going to go to Sound Bible because I know these dudes don't play all the dumb signing up crap. So let's see if I can find anything in here. Ooh. I'm gonna have that be the background, I think. All right, geez, there we go. Bat sound FX. So this will make it sound like there's a bunch of them there hanging out. So bat day, there we go. Throw it in there. And I don't know if I'll do any more than that, but it'll be enough. Okay, so anyways, now that it's there, I want to throw it in my library. So I'm going to grab this MP3, click and drag it in. Now that the MP3 is inside my library, I can use it, drag it out to the timeline, do whatever I want to do with it. Okay, and I'm going to have this play probably just throughout the whole thing, to be honest. So I'm just going to create a layer, double click, call it just sound effects. And to get this to play, all you got to do is take it from the library and just click and drag it onto the stage. Again, make sure you select where you want it to go first. Okay, I want it to be on this layer, so I select it first, and then I click and drag it out. Okay, and then I'm going to add some more frames, F5, but I want to add it to all of them. So F5, I click on the red playhead here, F5, and you can see that you start to get the sound waves in here. Okay, now heads up, because this may, well, it will and should make you think about the type of song you want first. Now, with HTML5 Canvas, when you throw in a sound, I clicked kind of in the middle and I went to properties. These are the properties that I have for this sound. The only sync property you can have is event. And of course, that's like, well, what the crap does that mean, right? Well, event means when it starts, it's going the full gamut. It's not starting, or it's not going to stop. So if you have a 3-minute song and you throw it in there, it's going to play all 3 minutes. Your animation's done and it's just sitting there, but the music's going to continue. Okay, there's no way inside of Flash with the HTML5 canvas that I know of to stop it. Now, me saying it that way, there probably is a way, and I'm going to look dumb later. But I mean, from what I've played around with, and it hasn't been a lot, I haven't found a way to make it stop. Okay, and that now, if I were to load this with the code and play it with code, yeah, I could control a little bit more. But we're just doing timeline sound right now. Okay, so just be aware. If you have a 3-minute song, you're probably going to want to download Audacity or some sort of sound editing software and cut it. Make sure it stops at the end of your animation. Because it looks really weird, man, when your animation's done and the sound keeps going. Unless, maybe that's part of your, and that'd probably be a smart way to do it. If you did have a 3-minute song, have the animation stop, but then maybe a title comes out and it's just growing bigger and smaller, or you got subtle animations going on that just says, hey, this thing's still living, it's still going. I don't know, it's up to you, however you want to do that. But just be aware that I have this sound effect now. I don't know how long, what was it, a minute or something? Oh, it's not that long. Only 12 seconds. So yeah, after 12 seconds, it'll stop. But be aware of that. Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna have a bat fly out. So I'm gonna say bat. And this is just my, you don't have to do this, but I usually keep the sounds and stuff on top of everything else. Why? I don't know, I just do. You don't have to. It doesn't matter where it is in the timeline, it's sound. So it's gonna play no matter what. But that's how you do sound, okay? Throw the MP3 in there. I want to say it may do waves, it may not. But if, I know for a fact if you stick with, well, actually I want to say waves don't work. I don't know, all you can do is try it. So if you try a wave, you throw it in there and it doesn't work, well, waves don't work. And I will say though, there are some MP3s that don't work as well. Okay, if you run into that, let me know. Because basically what we need to do is take that MP3, go find a website. I'm going to have to look in my notes to find it, but there's a website where you can convert that MP3 into an MP3, but the MP3 that you convert it into is Flash friendly. So, but that's individual stuff. Just let me know if you run into that and we can help you out there. All right, now I got to go find a bat. Something that looks cool. I'm going for kind of a cartoony look, so I kind of like that little dude. He's cool looking. Yeah, I'll just go with him. Okay, now I don't want him flying around with this white square around, so I'm going to need to convert that to a PNG. So I'm going to save the image as, and call him bat. Okay, it's a JPEG. So if I were to throw him straight in, I mean, I'm sure most of you have already seen this before, but if I were to take him in here, that's what he looks like. I can't get rid of that white because it's JPEG. So that's going to look really stupid. It kind of kills the whole effect that he's actually in the cave. It's obvious that he's just a picture, right? So I need to fix that. I'm going to get rid of him from the library. I'm going to open that in Photoshop. one of the downfalls of JPEGs. They don't support transparencies. So usually the quickest way, I just come in here to my layers. I'm going to double click to unlock it. Just hit OK. There he is, hanging out. I go to the magic wand, click on it, or hit W. Just click. So the magic wand is smart enough, it goes out there and it finds where the stark changes of color are. So it goes from white to black. That's like the starkest difference you can have. So, and then it stops there. And so I just hit delete and it deletes all that stuff. It's usually the quickest way to do it. Now the checkerboard means it is see-through. So you're not going to get that white square anymore. So Control D or Command D deselects. And then I'm going to come in here and actually crop it down a little bit just because I don't need all that extra space. All right, and I'll save him out.
So animate doesn't support PNGs?
It does, because that's what I'm making right now.
Oh, okay, you're gonna...
Yeah, the point was is just the bat, he had that white square around him, so I needed to make him into a PNG, so that didn't show up. That's what I'm doing right now. So yeah, it definitely supports PNGs because that's what I'm doing right now. Now, a thing I see students do all the time is they have like Photoshop selected and they type in .png. That doesn't work. Okay, it'll try to save it as a Photoshop document with the PNG extension, and all that does is confuse everything, including the computer. So then when you try to use it, it's going to go, I don't know what the heck you're doing, and it's not going to work. Everything's just going to blow up. So you got to make sure you click on this drop down and pick PNG. If you don't, it will not work. All right, so hit save. I usually do the smallest file size. It says slowest saving. I don't care. It still saves pretty quick. So I want it to be a small file size. All right, now I can get rid of the JPEG. So I don't need that anymore. Click and drag him out. Way too big. So I'm going to shrink him down. Remember to make things bigger or smaller, whatever, it's Q inside of Flash. The free transform tool. I got a problem. He's on the wrong layer. And you can tell what layer he's on because you click on him and it will highlight the layer that he's on. Well, he's on the sound effects layer. I don't want that. So I didn't do what I always tell you to do. Remember, you always want to select where it goes first and then put it in. But it's okay. It's easy to fix. I just click on him. He's on the sound effects, so I'm going to cut him. Control X or Command X. Click on the bat layer and then paste him. I didn't do paste into place. I didn't do Control Shift V because I don't really care where he's at right now. But now I know he's on the bat layer because I click on him and it selects it. Really important. You know where everything is and what layer they're on. Okay, so now we're going to do basically draw the path that I want him to follow, and he'll follow it. And that's called motion guide. Yeah, I'll make him a little bigger, I guess. So I'm going to have him start out here off the stage, and I'll have him kind of fly around and do stuff. I don't know. We'll see what he does. All right, so to do this, you right-click the layer that's going to follow the motion guide. And you're going to do Add Classic Motion Guide. Okay, and then it creates this little layer with these dots and a square. Okay, And then you see the bat got shifted over a little bit. It's kind of tabbed over. So that means it's underneath this guide. So this means that this bat is going to follow this guide. So I'm actually going to move him down a little bit. So on this layer, the guide layer, you draw the path. So I come over here to the pencil tool and I'm just going to draw. I don't like that. It's kind of jaggy. I don't know if you can do the brush tool on this. I think it has to be a stroke. Anyways, I'll draw it again. So I'll have him start here. He's just going to follow that and go there. That's it, really. Okay, now you can see he kind of snaps on. Now he's going to go on wherever this little white thing is, the white circle. You see the white circle when you do the free transform tool. But the white circle is where he's going to attach to the path. So if you want him to attach by his feet, you're going to need to move this down to where his feet is, and then he attaches that way. Okay. Actually, yeah. So you can see how he kind of attaches to the path, the little anchor point there. So now that we have the path drawn, we have them attached. Well, I'm not really going to attach them yet. All we need to do is just tween this. So I right click, create the classic tween. This is on the bat layer, not the guide layer. I don't need to tween the guide, I need to tween the bat. So create that classic tween. Okay. And then it's busted because I have to say where he starts and I have to say where he ends, just like we did last week or 2 weeks ago or whatever it was. So F6 adds that keyframe at the end. So I want him to start there, and he's already attached to the thing. It moved it, but that's okay. And then I want him to end over here. The point is you got to make sure he's attached to the path here, and he has to be attached to the path there. If one of those is busted, it won't work. And then whee, he follows it.
Is there a way where you can flip them at one point?
Yep. Well,
Is there a way to make his wings flip?
To do that, you would need to... Okay, so Norma's question, yeah. Well, maybe. We're going to do something and we'll see what it does. So what we're going to do here is we're going to say orient to path. And so that kind of makes him do a flip. Whee! And then he starts flying backwards. Wow, he's amazing. To make him flip, you probably have to add like a keyframe here and flip him. Let me see if that works. So I'm going to add a keyframe. Well, let's get rid of that orient to path real quick.
I mean, if not, then you could just do 2 motions, one with him facing forward.
Yep, that would work too as well. But I want to see if what I think here will work. So I can add a keyframe here, just flip him. Then I can copy him, take him to the end keyframe, delete, paste, put him there. I don't know if this is going to work. May or may not. Nope, because then he starts flipping there. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, no, hold on though. I should be able to copy this, add a keyframe here, delete that, paste, bring him there. Yeah, so I have the first keyframe of him facing to the left. He's still facing to the left on that end keyframe there. Then I flip him, and then he's facing to the right on the first keyframe, and then he's facing to the right there. So that.
You just added a keyframe?
Yep. So I got the first keyframe here. He's going to the left, going to the left. Then I flip him right there. He's to the right, off the stage, so you can't see it. And then he comes flying through, facing the right way. One of the ways to do it. And you can see kind of the jump of the animation right here, but it doesn't matter because it happens off screen. People won't see it. If I didn't want him to jump that much, I could just, bring him up here a little bit. Then if you want it to last longer or whatever, longer, right? You just add keyframes. I click up here in the red to add keyframes everywhere. Add keyframes everywhere here. Okay, but that's it. So you take the layer you want to follow the guide, right click it, do add classic motion guide. And then when this shows up, this layer, you draw out the path that you want him to follow. Pretty sure you need to do it with something that draws a stroke. So the pencil tool, did the brush tool work? Okay, I'm lying to you. Good. Pen tool will work. So if you want kind of smoothie type things, which one did you use though?
The one without the line.
So the brush tool, so that worked. Good to know. So with the brush tool, you can get more smoothing going on. So play around with it and just see whatever one works the best for you. Great. Just as long as it follows that path, you're good to go. So this is just good when you want a predefined direction or a predefined path that you want something to follow. You can do that. Okay. Alrighty, we got sound. Okay, easing. Yeah, I'll probably want to have easing in there a little bit. So easing's real easy to do. You just click on an existing tween. So this is the classic tween here, and it's just over here in the properties panel. You just click somewhere in between the tween, and you have easing in here. So you can click on the classic ease. There's a bunch of different types of easing, and you just kind of pick which one you want. They all do different things, and to be honest, I can't tell you what all of them do. So I'm gonna just grab, let's see, the bounce one's gonna be kind of stupid, but I can show it anyways. You just double click. So now he has this bounce ease. Okay, really dumb. That's not how bats move. But if you had like a ball or something bouncing, no, that's a killer ease to have, right? It controls all of that motion for you. Okay, so yeah, bounce, not a good idea. So come back here, click on it. Elastic, no. I'm just gonna want something where he just kind of slowly goes faster, kind of a thing. So you can see over here, he starts out kind of slow and then he accelerates in. So that's just to kind of simulate real motion. So instead of having to keyframe all that out, now you have these eases that kind of do it for you. Okay, and this is an ease in. In other words, it's easing into the motion. It starts slow and then goes faster. I could do ease out, which is the opposite. Starts fast and then slows down. So it goes fast to slow. I don't know. For this bat flight, to be honest, I don't even know if I would want an ease. I just want him to be kind of flying at just, at a speed that just doesn't really change. Now this dang ugly line that I've drawn, it won't show up in the animation, just in case you were wondering. Okay. So that's it for the easing. I can't remember if I showed you rotation, but here it is. So if for some reason he was a drunk bat or something and I wanted him to be rotating, I could have him rotate. Let's see, he's going clockwise. He's like a tumbling bat, right? So I have him rotate clockwise 3 times. Woo! Okay. So obviously here the rotation, probably not a good use, right? But there may be something that you need to rotate. Wheels, something like that. A ball rolling. Really easy to do that. But I'm going to get rid of that. Okay, and then we already kind of saw it. We have the oriented path. So what that does is right now he doesn't move. He's just always, you know, his ears stay there. He's just standing up. He's vertical basically. He doesn't move at all. He just stays there. But if I do the oriented path, now he kind of rotates according to the path that he's drawn on. So the way I like, think of it, if you had a car and it's driving up a mountain. If I didn't have oriented path, the car would stay like this and go up the mountain and go down the mountain. If I told it to orient to path, then it would go up and then it would go down. So it would rotate depending on the path that it's at. So you can see he's doing that. So when he hits right there, he rotates. Okay, now it's kind of a straight path, so he doesn't really rotate that much. But then he rotates more when he goes up. So now I'm getting kind of more motion as he's moving. And then you can see once I do this I don't do it there. Let me do it here too. Oriented path. That just looks kind of dumb. Okay, but anyways, oriented path is just that. They kind of rotate depending on the path that they're going on. And again, may or may not need it, but it's good to know. Scale along path? I don't know what that does. Never really used that. Looks like kind of nothing. That may be things if you're making them bigger or smaller or something. I don't know.
Oh, that would probably come more in handy with like text.
Something, maybe, yeah, I don't know. Not sure on that one. But anyways, all the stuff that I'm showing you, I'm not going to use because it just doesn't make sense here. But you got the rotates, you got the oriented path, you have the easing. I would definitely play around with these eases and get an idea of what there is and what they do. They can be really useful. All right, so I'm going to have him fly through, and then when he flies off, I'm going to have some text that comes in and just says, happy bat day. Make sure I'm not, got easing, got sound, got it. Okay, got the mask. Okay, the camera tool we'll need to do. All right, so basically masks and camera. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do here is, he's going way too slow. So Shift F5 gets rid of the frames, and I clicked on the red part, so I do it to all of the frames. So Shift F5 here as well. Okay. So at the end, I'm going to have some text, so I'm going to create a new layer, and I'll call it text. Now, see how it created the layer underneath the guide? I don't want that. I'm going to double click, call it text. And I'm just going to click and drag it out. So this is outside of the guide. This is inside of it. You can see the little line that comes out. And I want it outside. So let go. Now it's outside of the guide. So I'm going to hit F6, add a keyframe here because that's where I want the animation to start. I'm going to need to extend all these other ones. So if I come out here and hit F6, now everything disappeared because it's not out here. So a quick way to do that is I can just click and hold, drag down to all the layers, and then hit F6, and that'll just extend all of them out. This is where the bat ends, so I don't need a classic tween there anymore. I can just remove the tween. I don't even need the keyframe, so I'm going to clear the keyframe. So the bat's there, and he's done. He's done his thing. He's done his duty. All right, so after the bat flies off, I want to wait like a half a second or so before the text actually starts doing stuff. So it's going to start actually right here. So I'm going to remove that keyframe. So clear the keyframe. Okay, and this is an effect I'm sure you've seen. It's all over the place. It's used a lot because it's cool, I think anyways. Okay, actually, and then the guide can go away too here. That guide's kind of annoying. Shift F5, getting rid of it. So I don't want the guide showing up. Don't really want the bat showing up either. But of course, the background and the music will start. Okay, so click on the text tool. Definitely don't want it to be blue. I'm going to make it kind of a brownish type color. Maybe. Way too dang big, so I'm going to select it, bring it down. I'm going to do two different effects. I'm going to have happy come in, and then I'm going to have bad day come in first. So I'm just going to write out happy first and find a font that I like. I hate doing this. After a while, you just start thinking, is that how happy is spelled? It just doesn't look like the word anymore. It's so weird. Sure, Lily UPC, that's amazing, love it. And that's too dang dark. Double click, select. Let's find one that's a little less, a little lighter. Maybe just black. Does black look okay? I like black, yeah. I'll just do black. It'll be boring here. Make it a little bigger here. All right, so I'm going to use a mask to make it look like happy just kind of appears out of nowhere. You decide if you think this is cool or not. I think it is, but I'm just weird like that. So I'm going to do a mask. So to mask things, it's similar to the guide. You're going to right click and do mask. No, this works a little bit different. Sorry, not yet. You don't want to do that yet. I forgot masks are a little weird here. So I'm going to have to create the layer first. So I'm going to create the layer first and call it mask. This is going to be the layer that it has the mask on it. I'm going to right click that and say mask. Okay, then you can see that text automatically went underneath it just like it did with the guide. And then you get this little square with a little circular hole in it. That means it's the mask. Okay, and it automatically locks both layers, and I'll show you why in a minute here. But I'm going to unlock them for now because I need to play around with them. So the way these make sense to me, think of masks as like a window. Like you can't see, like if I have a wall, I can't see through the wall unless you put a window on it. Okay, I can see everything that the window covers. It's the same thing with the mask. If the mask is on top of it, you can see it. All right, so I'm going to grab the mask layer and hit F6 here because this is when I want it to start, and I'm just going to draw a square. And this is my mask. So the way this works is everything this black square is on, you will be able to see. It's kind of weird. I don't know. It's kind of backwards for me anyways, the way I think. To me, it's like, no, if the mask isn't on it, I don't know. It's just kind of weird how it works. And you can always see how the mask functions if you lock the layers. Okay, so now I can see happy because the square's on it. So if I were to take the square, move it up, and not have it be on happy anymore, and then I lock, I can't see happy anymore because the square's not on it. So this, when you lock the layers, it shows you exactly how the mask is going to function. Okay, so I'm going to undo that because I want it to be on top of happy. So I'm just going to have the mask hanging out. It's not going to do anything, but I'm going to animate happy. Okay, I'm going to have it be up here. I'm just going to animate it down. It's simple, but it gives kind of a cool effect. So convert this to a symbol. It's going to be a movie clip. Call it text. I'm going to copy it, paste it here. I'm going to paste into place. Control Shift V, Command Shift V, and I want it to be down here. By the way, when you're using the arrow keys, I may have already shown you this. If you just do the arrow keys, it doesn't really move that much, but if you hold down Shift, it moves a lot more. So if you need to tweak something just by a couple pixels, don't hold down Shift. If you need it to move kind of quickly, hold down Shift and it goes faster. Okay, so I just need it underneath the square here. So it starts here, it ends there, yay. And then I create that classic tween. Okay, looks kind of weird right now, right? But if I lock the layers, now you can see how it seems like it kind of just appears out of nowhere. The bat comes in here, flies, does its thing, and then happy just kind of appears. Now this is where I could have some sort of ease, maybe ease out, I don't know. Oh, I have it locked, so I gotta unlock it. So yep, ease out. And usually these kind of animations are pretty quick and snappy. So I'm going to get rid of some of these frames here. Oh, that's starting to get annoying. I think there is a way. Oop, yeah, that's what I wanted. So it was kind of annoying to have to go watch the bat play again to kind of get an idea of exactly how this is going to look. So I clicked on loop, and then you can define an area on the timeline that just plays over and over, and you can test that over and over to make sure this is doing what you want it to do. So if I'm like, no, that's actually a little too quick, right, I add some frames, okay, and then I just drag that loop over, actually put it right there, and now I can watch it over and over again to make sure that it's doing exactly what I want. Bring up happy a little bit. Lock him back up. Yeah, looks good. Okay, I'm gonna have a bat day do the same thing. But I'm gonna have it come in from the bottom. Just because I'm crazy like that. All right, so I'll say mask 2. Create the mask. Create another layer. I'm going to click and drag it underneath mask 2. Call it text 2. I'm going to get rid of the loop for now. I don't want it to loop. And just half second later or so, I'm going to bring out the, let's see, I'll bring out the background. I'm going to bring out happy. So I want that to still be there. Then I'm going to bring out these. Okay. And just do kind of exactly what I just did. Oh, I need to bring out the sound effects too. So kill that keyframe, bring it out here. So same thing, just gonna, well, I'm gonna type it out first here. So F6, and I will grab this and say bat day. Line it up as much good as I can there, bring it down a little bit. Okay, so that's where I want it to end. So really I'm just going to copy this, paste it here. So that's where I want it to end, Control Shift V, and then grab this one, bring it down. Then go here, draw the mask. Make sure I'm on the mask layer. Bam, there we go. Then copy the mask, paste it here as well. Then I can lock them up. Well, I need to tween the text. And that's another thing that's kind of cool that Flash does. Like I didn't convert these to symbols yet. I didn't convert this to a symbol, so I can either do that now, or just when I add that classic tween, it will convert them to symbols at that moment. It'll say, hey, these aren't converted to symbols. You want to do that? I hit OK, and then it just kind of does everything for me. Okay, so now I can lock that up and get an idea of what it looks like. Okay. I'll probably want to do the same ease that I did here. So quart ease out, quart ease out. I want them to be about the same length, so add some more frames in there. Okay, and then I can do that loop again and just kind of see how both of them look. And I think there's probably a little bit too much space in between the two. Happy's there a little too long. So just come in here, click on the red, Shift F5. Kind of want it to be like happy bat day, not happy bat day, right? So that's still, to be honest, a little too much. Anyways, yeah, I'm kind of playing around in the weeds right now. Probably just have them be right next to each other. Okay, so masking. You draw the mask. Whatever the mask is on top of will show up. Whatever it's not on top of will not. And then you can start animating things to give them cool little effects. Okay, last thing is the camera tool. I'm going to be a little inappropriate here. Sorry, guys. We're going to have some fun with guano, if I can find guano. No. Maybe this isn't gonna do what I want. I'm just gonna have guano drop because I'm just horrible. I don't know. I want to zoom into something. Let's go. There was no good pictures of guano. It'd take too long, but maybe I could, I don't know, have somebody hiding behind that. I could put that on its own layer and then have a bat peek out from there. I don't know. It's just going to take too long. Let's... let's just have the bat come out again, I guess. We'll zoom in on him. Did I hear something? Could, but I want to, we're doing the camera here next, so I want to like put the focus in on the bat. So let me create another layer here. I don't want it to be as a motion guide. Call it bat. Well, call it bat 2, I guess. So I'm going to copy that, throw it in there. I'm going to flip him. This last tool that I'm going to show you is just really, really cool. This camera tool, man, to do what the camera tool can do used to take a lot of crazy stuff in Flash. So anyways, so I got the bat. Okay, so the camera tool is a way you can pan, you can zoom, you can do all kinds of different camera type effects on your stage. So I'm going to have, I'll set it up first and then I'll zoom it in. So the background I'll have come out. The masks of Bat Day and Happy Bat Day, I want them to still be there. Okay, and then I'm going to have this little bat dude come out here and he's going to just fly back out. So nothing too crazy. I'm just going to create the tween there. So he'll fly back out. Okay, and then here I want to zoom into the bat. And then he could say something like, I don't know, say something. I don't know what. I'm not going to have him say anything, but that would be, right, I don't know, have a little sound effect for him or whatever. So he comes back out, boom, kind of hangs out. And then I'm going to click on the camera tool down here. And when you do that, it creates a whole new layer called the camera layer. And basically the way it works is whatever is in this blue square will show up. So you can animate the camera. So I'm going to hit F6 here. And I'm going to bring it out a little bit. I'm going to bring out everything else that I need to have. And the background. So the camera starts like that, and I want it to end right up here. So this is kind of the zoom in and out, and you can click to have it kind of pan around. Now why the crap it's doing that, I have no idea. I don't know why it's messing with the text like that. Okay, so I could zoom in. Okay, now right now it's just a hard cut, right? He flies out there and then boom, it's there. It zooms in. I don't want it to do that. I want it to zoom in. I want it to animate. So I'm going to right click and create the classic tween on the camera layer. So now it zooms in like that. Okay, and then I could, you know, hit F6 out here again. Background. So I did F6 on all those, hit F5 a bunch to kind of give it some time. So zooms in, then it just stays there for a couple seconds, and then he says something. I don't know, like I'm a bat or something. I don't know. Okay, but that's what the camera tool does. It allows you to either zoom in and out, it allows you to pan around, and it lets you do hard cuts as well. Like maybe you had a cartoon or something and it just does a hard cut right up into someone's face. He talks a little bit and then it cuts to someone else on the scene. And the cool thing with the camera tool is, man, to do something like that in Flash before, I mean, what you had to do is basically animate everything. You'd have to take the background and you'd have to animate it really big to be, I mean, you would basically have to animate everything to where this is the stage. So you'd have to animate the bat and make him huge. You'd have to animate the background and make that big, where now you just throw in a camera, you zoom in, and it does it for you. Okay. But yeah, like I said, you can animate the camera or you could do hard cuts. So if I removed that tween, it would just, he's in there and then boom, he's right there. It just jumps straight into that zoom instead of animating to it. But I want it to zoom in. So it's there. And then, I don't know, I'll just have him say, I guess I'll throw something in there really quick. Call it by text. And he just says something. That's cool. Something stupid like that. Shrink it down. I probably want to put in like a speech bubble or something. Yeah. Want that to all be on one line here. Okay, don't want it to repeat, so on any of these keyframes I can just add it, but it's usually a good idea to have your own frame and just call it like code or actions. They call it actions because of action script. It's good to have just kind of your own frame where you put all the code, and I'm going to hit F6 here. F9 opens up the coding, and it's just this dot stop. And I have that on bright space. So this dot stop parentheses semicolon. I mean, there's just all kinds of other crap I could do. If I wanted to have him make a sound effect, I'd go find a bat sound effect. And then just the main thing is you just got to have the sound effect be on its own layer, and it has to have a keyframe. Let's see what we can get here. It's really weird, but why not? All right, so I'll grab that one too. That sound effect. Is that what that's basically what I called it before. It's okay. So I'm going to throw that in the library. So I just want to have a sound effect play when he comes flying out for the second time. So I would just create a new layer. Bat sound. Then he comes flying out right here. So this is when I want it to happen. maybe even a little bit before, F6. So you put in a keyframe when you want it to start, and then you click and drag it out. Oops, I did not make it there. There we go. And then it'll play there. So here I have kind of sounds that are lasting the whole time, and then I have sound effects play when I want them to. So it's kind of the big difference there. Now again, remember it's going to play all the way through. And this is, well, I guess it's only, what, 2 seconds? Oh, that's not bad at all. That should be okay. That sounds really weird. Anyways, yeah, so he comes flying out, makes the creepy noise, then it stops there. Just be like, have a nice day, bats are cool, whatever. Okay, done, yay, right? Control Enter, test this bad boy, or Command Enter. Okay, so you can see how that camera works. It zooms in. It's really cool. It's an awesome, awesome tool. And it hasn't been around that long. I'm getting to that old person point where I just remember how Flash was and what it can do now. And like I said, to do that zoom in effect was ridiculously hard. Really, really hard. And now they just kind of said, hey, we'll just create a tool that'll do it for you. It's incredible. It's awesome. Okay. Anyway, oh, one other thing with the text. I think I can't remember if I went over this with you guys or not, but if you use oh wait, let me go to the bad is cool one. So if you use a font that's like not a common font and it doesn't exist everywhere, then you need to make sure you can't do it. Oh. You got to embed it, and you can't with HTML5, I don't think anyways. I think actually it'll automatically embed. Yeah, it did, right? Never mind, just kidding. If we were using not HTML5 canvas, if we were doing the other version, the other type, we'd have to embed the font because then just so it can use it. But I think when you export it, the JavaScript does that for us. So we're okay. We're good there. Okay, I get it. That was a lot. That's why I made this video. So you can go back and review as needed. But I guess, yeah, last thing, let's upload, right? So my host is thoseonekids.com, Dave at thoseonekids.com, my password, not telling you. Okay, hit quick connect. If you did it right, things will show up here. If you don't have your host yet, you need to get that done yesterday. Okay, that should have been done like week 1, week 2. I get it, there's issues, but you need to get it done like now so you can turn things in, because I will be grading stuff Friday-ish. Okay, if nothing's uploaded, 0, and then that sucks. Okay, so public HTML. Okay, there's all the stuff I have in there. You're not going to have as much as me. That's okay. Now, the next part's kind of up to you. I have my folder that I was doing, Bat Day, wherever that was, right here. Okay, now I have the FLA, which does nothing online. But if you want to back up, it's okay to upload this. It won't hurt anything. Just know that you can't run an FLA on a server. It won't do anything. This is just the Flash file. It's not the file that you use to play your animation. Because I used sounds, it created a sound folder. Okay, and it just put the effects in there. So I don't need to upload these, but I do need to upload the sound folder because that's actually where it's pulling it from. Images, it's kind of interesting what it does. It creates a PNG with all the images that you use. So all the images that you use are put in one file. And what's interesting is it kind of masks it out. It loads this one file and it positions it on the stage so only this shows up. And then when the bat comes in, it uses this file and it masks out all of this stuff in here and it only shows the bat. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy how it does that. It's kind of mind-blowing a little bit. Okay, but it needs to have that images folder as well. So the main things you're uploading, the FLA if you want, that's just so you can have a backup just in case your computer explodes or whatever. JavaScript, have to have the JavaScript file. That has to go up. So does the HTML file, so does the sounds folder, and so does the images folder. And the FLA if you want. Doesn't have to, but it can. This other stuff I don't have to worry about because it's in the images and sounds folder. So always, always, always the HTML and JavaScript no matter what. But when I hit Control Enter, it created these images and sounds folder, so I need to have that in there as well. So yeah, I don't really care about all this extra stuff, so I'm just going to upload the whole folder. No, I'm not. I'm going to show you how to do it a different way. So I'm going to right click and do create directory. That's basically a new folder. And inside my public HTML, I'm going to call it bat day. Not bat a day, bat day. Okay, so now there is a folder called bat day, should be. Refresh. Or maybe I did it wrong. There it is, bat day. So I just created that. So instead of creating it by clicking and dragging it, I just created it in FileZilla. So I'm going to double click in there, like 20, 30, 40, 50, 80, 100 megabytes. That's when you may or may not want to upload it because it'll take a while. Okay, so all that stuff's in there. So here's the test, right? What do I need to type in, guys? How do I get to it? Because you need to know how to do this because you need to do it too. What do I type in? Obviously, it's my domain. Now what? What's the folder?
Public HTML.
Okay. Now what?